get into a more serious relationship, it's like, oh, I haven't done this in a couple of years. There's a whole another can of worms. I mean, the foundations are the same.
I was going to say, so tell me about, like, what are these foundations and what is this transition? Like, are there differences between these beginning attraction phases versus now we're 3 months in, we're committed to each other? What is that transition, and how do you actually, like, I guess it's really maintain, right? So what are the differences actually?
Well, I'll tell you some of the biggest ones that I learned about myself because, I've studied this so much. I've been in a ton of relationships. But as far as serious, long-term committed, yeah, I think so too. I think, it comes with a certain amount of having done it enough times and that maturity and realizing, oh man, that does not serve me or the relationship well at all.
Yeah, exactly. Winning isn't important when you're a partnership.
Oh, no, not at all. Which is hard when you're someone who collects facts and also studies so many different things. So I'm like, oh, but I know this and I can reference that. But then you got to realize, who the hell cares about that? I'd rather be, by the end of the night, make dinner together and,
be
having a good time. Like how to cross the threshold from just we had fun together to how do we connect on an intimate level and eventually make it sexual if that's where you want to go, which is most cases in relationships.
Coming up on this week's episode of the Ask Women podcast, we talk about lust and lust triggers and what makes women start thinking sexually about you and about having sex with you or even just being intimate about you. We have Race DePriest on the show, and he is going to share with us, I think it ends up being 5 amazing lust triggers. They're near the tail end of the show, by the way, but the information before is really essential because you're going to learn the foundations about creating the potential for lust to be possible. So keep listening.
All for you. So,
Race, we have had a lot of triggers before the beginning of this show, but just one thing. Kristen, you should do a podcast on politics. I'm being serious from what we just talked about before. Like everything you said, I think you should do a podcast on politics. You're very
I don't know enough
about
facts. Like if you put me up against somebody who
don't
really knows what they're
tell me
talking
stuff
about.
as if you know facts. Then
Well, no, I know enough facts that I can talk to regular people, but I couldn't go up against
That's who listens to podcasts. You could go and just speak. I think you're really passionate about it. That could be
I'm very passionate about it.
I'm just saying, we were talking before about like finding yourself. That may be who you found, I think. And maybe I wouldn't listen to you, but I think other people would listen to you for sure. Anyway,
I roll my eyes so hard at you.
But we're talking to Race, and we're going to talk about lust triggers today. So Race, why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are? Because we've had you on this podcast before talking about texting, because that is something that you became an expert in and on because you studied for a long time. So maybe tell like a bit of your backstory and then how it transitioned to lust.
Well, I mean, far better than studying. I tried out a ton of things. This is, a while ago before there were any products actually on texting. I was in New York City. I was with a bunch of guys trying to start up. Well, they were actually doing pretty well. Maybe AJ and Jordan back in the day from Pickup Podcast. Yeah, and The Art of Charm. So they were running a coaching program where people, clients would come into New York and stay with them over a weekend and get in like classroom training to the day, go out at night, and we'd watch them, give them feedback, give them things to do so that they can incrementally improve, but actually go out and do things. But it's funny because there's 12, single guys in this company at the time, and we were all on the company account. And we were like, one of the months, we're like, it'd be interesting to find out who's sending out the most text. So we looked through, the phone thing, and it was like, wow, 500. Ooh, you've hit up 1,500. And then they looked at mine, and it was over 7,000. Like so much further than everyone else that it was crazy. And that was like per month. And, some of them were to my mom to say happy birthday, but most of them were to girls I was dating.
Some of them, like 1,000 of them, yeah.
Well, it was New York City. I was young and single. You couldn't ask for a better place.
Yeah.
Through that, I just really had a lot of practice of screwing up. I think that's how you really get good at something from trying it enough times, failing enough times, and then starting to see patterns. So that's how that worked out. So I wrote a book on it, and it seems to have helped a lot of people. So that's really how I got into it. Then through that, I've always been fascinated. One of my majors in college was psychology. So I was always interested in what are the main things that people complain about but don't really do anything about. But if they solved that, their life would be much better. And it seemed to me everyone was struggling with relationships, with finances, or with their health. And that's no surprise. We all know health, wealth, and relationships are important factors, like pillars. So I wanted to dive into the relationship one because I didn't know much about it. And so I spent so much time and so many books reading about relationships that it was natural for me to fall into doing some of the relationship coaching stuff, but trying to do it on a more like a deeper level where I could set up good habits for these guys and give them
amazing.
a good framework of like the foundational like soil where they could grow good relationships instead of trying to fix why the plant was unhealthy at the top. Because you just change text this instead of that. Cool, you might get a good response there, but you're going to fall into the same patterns that you had
Yeah.
before, and
Yeah.
the plant's going to keep dying. So that's kind of how I got into this.
Okay.
So
I love it. And
yeah,
so has this been tested on a lot of people? Like, how do you know what you're advising works? Are you in a relationship right now? Like, give me a bit of background on that.
yeah. Actually, I'm currently down in Lima, Peru.
Oh, nice.
Just came down to visit a friend. I was, going to travel through South America, end up in. I like to move to different places for a couple months, work there, get to know people from different cultures. Just broaden my horizons. But the same thing, like when you're single, you still want to meet people, you want to connect, especially when you're in a new place, you want to make new friends. So you got to learn how to create relationships out of nothing from scratch. And then, you get better if you learn how to do it in different cultures. You pick up the little things like that. And then with relationships, I just, I throw myself in the fire to learn as quickly as I can. And also to experience the wealth that life has to offer us in different types of relationships and experiences. But I happened to meet a girl down here that I'm really excited about. And we've been living together for the last
Oh,
6
wow.
months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Congratulations. I still think of you as like a
Thanks.
21-year-old boy because I've met you so long ago. I
I
know.
know,
So,
right?
yeah. So I'm so happy for you. That's so exciting.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's been fun to get back into this side of relationships where, okay, like fine, you can make relationships, you can date girls pretty easily, you can form them, and then, I'm used to dating
Hmm.
multiple girls, but always honest and open about it.
Yeah.
But then to get into a more serious relationship, it's like, oh, I haven't done this in a couple of years. There's a whole another can of worms. I mean, the foundations are the same. Treat each
Well,
other with
I was going to
respect.
say, so tell me about like, what are these foundations and what is this transition? Like, are there differences between these beginning attraction phases versus now we're 3 months in, we're committed to each other? What is that transition and how do you actually like, I guess it's really maintain, right? So what
Mhm.
are the differences actually?
Well, I'll tell you some of the biggest ones I had to learn about myself because, I've studied this so much. I've been in a ton of relationships, but as far as serious, long-term committed, I don't know, I'm not a serial dater. I
Yeah.
don't jump from a serious relationship into another. I usually take a long time to work through whatever, like
Yeah, you got
didn't
to
work about
research.
that. Yeah, well,
Exactly.
I also had to learn about what was it about the relationship that didn't work so that I can avoid it in the future when I
Yeah.
find someone worth connecting over. But it had been a while because COVID, all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'd been away from it for a while. So some of the big things that I've been finding is um, I thought I had some really good habits about relationships, but with each new person, there's some major things that even though that works for you and it has worked in the past, it might not work with that person. And to setting up how to work things out, I think the one of the biggest indicators is how fast can you get back on board to working together and enjoying your time together after like a disagreement or a fight, or when you trigger some sort of insecurity or something like that. Like, does it ruin your weekend? Does it cause big flare-ups? Are
Yeah.
you in a constant cycle, or can you
Can you repair
like,
easily?
yeah, can you repair easily and get back on track? Because just think about going on vacation with someone you have a long-term relationship with. Is it going to ruin the rest of your vacation, or can it be like, can you put these repair attempts out there, and you both fundamentally want the best for each other and truly do care and have a respect where when you're upset, you won't jump past to the point where you will say really hurtful things. Because even when you're at your most upset, you can recognize you have the foundation of, yeah, but this is someone I really care about. I'm not going to say those kind of mean things, even though you want to, because you feel it and you want to win a fight or something. I find that's been huge. Mm-hmm. And then just
that
daily
comes with
stuff.
Age,
like,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, it comes with a certain amount of having done it enough times and that maturity and realizing, oh man, yeah, that does not serve me or the relationship well at all.
Yeah, exactly. Winning isn't important when you're a partnership.
Oh, no, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is hard when you're someone who like collects facts and also studies so many different things. Like, so I'm like, oh, but I know this and I can reference that. But then you got to realize, who the hell cares about that? I'd rather be, by the end of the night, make dinner together and
rather be happy,
having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so tell me more about these lust triggers, because I want to understand, like, what are lust triggers, and when do you implement them? Are they things you can use in the beginning stages of relationships? Is it for all stages of relationships? Like I was really like, I forget, you had written to me a couple of months ago about your new program about lust triggers. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fascinating. And you had written me back like a sentence about it. And I was like, oh, that sounds so cool for our podcast. So I'd love to dive into those or that a little bit more.
Sure. And as I'm sure you know, Marty, having been around this for a long time, Lust Triggers is a more enticing title, but it really is just, it's a portion from my high-end coaching clients that I spend a lot of time with. What I've noticed with all the calls or the in-person stuff, like they're really having a hard time with first dates. So I created a first date formula. All the things that I've honed down to the key things on a first date to make sure it goes well, smoothly, knowing which level you're in, and then how to set up the next date. So it becomes, because, if you're single, you have to go on a certain amount of first dates to find someone to be in a relationship with. Right. So not getting good at that is really a barrier to entry into a good relationship. Instead of, the other idea is fall into whatever you get. Like, if someone introduces you, that's your only chance. You might as well grab onto it because you haven't been on a first date in forever and you don't know what to do. So she kind of liked me, I kind of liked her. Let's just become boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's how a lot of people end up settling for relationships where they don't have the confidence to weed out people that are not going to be good for them or they're not going to be good for. And another thing that comes with maturity, but you have to have those basic skill sets. Now, that's not as sexy as lust triggers. So what I found is a lot of these guys were having great first dates and like, this is great, I'm going on a second. But then we talk about things and they were so nervous about getting intimate, like how to cross the threshold from just we had fun together to how do we connect on an intimate level and eventually make it sexual if that's where you want to go, which is most cases in relationships.
Which is where you want to go.
Yeah. So we did a whole in-depth call with our high-end clients to work on this part of the first date or this part of the beginning of a relationship. And that's where this comes from, is bridging that gap of, we've enjoyed our time together, but I don't know how to move it past that.
Okay. So let's tell all the guys who are listening, what are the steps? Like, how do you know how to move past that to get some?
This is going to sound really, really, really funny and so simple once you hear it, but constantly I found with clients when I was out and they're talking to a girl and they'd come back to me like after I was watching them, like, all right, it's going really well. What do I do? Like, I was like, well, do you like her? Yeah, I really do. I just can't tell. Did you let her know that you like her? Oh, no.
Oh, that's a sin for most men. They're like, you can't let a girl know you like her.
I know, because then it'll show that
she has all the power.
All this, dude, such nonsense, red pill. It's just pure nonsense. And so a lot of guys like, oh, I can't do that. And then they would talk about like, oh man, I'm getting in the friend zone. Wait, dude, yeah. I mean, you're so concerned with, does she like you? Guess what she's thinking? I mean, this is from talking to the girls afterwards. Like a lot of girls, when I didn't know how to express my sexuality, but we ended up dating eventually, they would be like, I was so mad at you on our first couple dates. I had no idea if you liked me. You didn't try and kiss me. You didn't try to do anything. I was like, oh man, because I was too scared to, or I thought I was being polite or all this stuff. But
Yeah.
in reality, she was just as, we're both not sure. That's why we're here. We're trying to see if we're going to be sure about this. So step one is, if you found reasons why you like being around this girl, tell her, express it to her. Like, let her know, like, wow, that's really cool. I really like this about you. You're
Is
like
that a
really
lust
cool.
trigger?
Well, you can't get to the lust triggers if you don't even know if you like each other. And honestly, that gives both parties a little bit of comfort, being like, oh, this is going good. For example, have you seen this Bumble? They just changed their policy that guys can message first. The whole thing was girls have to message first, right?
That's weird.
But girls were so bad at it.
Thank
I
God
saw.
they changed that. I've hated
Oh my
that
God.
for so long. And it was such an angle that Bumble was like, how can we be different? Oh, we'll just have the woman message first, even though it's going to fuck up every conversation. It's
I
like,
saw like a list of like 60 different conversations online on Bubble, and every single woman started with, hey there, hey there.
yeah,
100%.
Everything that
Having
they
been on
hate
Bumble,
getting as well. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so
which is
funny.
that, which is super ironic, considering you know,
They hate
if
it.
they find out that they, like, a guy went through my product, or even when girls found out I had written a product and went through, they're like, oh, you're just using a line on me. And I'm like, you can't even come with something better than hey. These
Right.
guys are at least trying
Exactly.
to
To
learn how to
broaden.
be a
Exactly.
little more original and make it enjoyable, and you're gonna downplay. I'm like, that's kind of not fair, but super ironic. So yes,
Yes.
letting, and like you said, guys are think that that's a rule they can't pass. I mean, it's, if we're talking about it as just saying a compliment just because you think that's what you're supposed to do, so she'll like you. There's a difference of doing something so she'll like you versus letting her know that you like her. And I think that's the big difference that guys really don't realize. They think they're the same thing, but they're not. If you found reasons why you're liking this girl and enjoying it, then let her know. Like, when she
Yeah,
does something you
100%.
like, that
So
way she's not afraid of, like, oh, is this guy even like me at all? Am I like, because now she's afraid to do anything that might show she likes you. And then you guys are both in a weird position where you can't move forward with the date.
right, absolutely. So we did a master class last night on the friend zone. We had Darren Fuji come on with his beautiful and amazing girlfriend. Yeah, so like so long ago. But they were talking about the friend zone. And the main things that they were talking about, or I'm going to talk about one thing that they were talking about. Obviously, they're talking about the friend zone. So that's a big category and like what to do to get out of the friend zone. But they were talking about overinvestment. That was one of the first few traits that they discussed for guys for why they are constantly in the friend zone. It's because they have this overinvestment. So for guys who are overly invested in women that they're trying to attract, for them to then state their feelings and their wants without there being some reciprocity from the woman or giving her space to allow that to happen, then it can backfire, right? Then it can crash and burn for you if you are to express your feelings, because you're already pouncing on that woman, coming across as needy and creepy and turning her off. But for a woman that you're on a date with, that you're having a good time with, you guys are connecting, you're laughing, you're joking around, you're teasing, you're being yourself and being opinionated, that at that point, sharing how you're thinking and feeling can be extremely sexy. And I know you said it's not a lust trigger, but like that for me would be a lust trigger. So
Oh yeah.
it was in my dream last night for some reason. And it was with my husband, because it's actually like mirroring one of the first things that I said to him on our third date. Like we were like fooling around with each other. So that's like so old school to say, fooling around. I don't even know what that
I
would say
like it.
now. But like we were fooling around with each other, and I looked up at him and I said, I like hanging out with you. Right. And then he like smiled, said, me too, like kissed me back. But it was like, oh my God. Right. Like for both of us, that was like, it took it to another level when that was said and put out there. Granted, it wasn't him saying it, but it was one person saying it. And that
Yeah.
was a trigger that like, okay, we're both into this, and now we're into it even more.
I wish it, like, if I was um, coaching more women, that would be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
If both parties need to do it, it's just it tends to fall in that girls, once having to be the first to make a move doesn't seem to be how most cultures work. So a lot
Yes.
of us are not raised that way. So expecting her to say that she likes you first so that you finally can go, okay, she likes me. Now I can be more myself. It's not going to work. That's why I work with guys to be like, dude, ask the kind of questions about things you really are interested in about another human, connect on
Mhm.
that. And if you find you like her, then let her know, because it's most likely not going to be her that does it. But you doing that might cause this huge shift of relief, and then her now being able to let her know she likes you back because she feels safe, like, because she's afraid to do it. I mean, it's just two people that don't know each other. They're
Right.
both wondering what the other's thinking about them. Am I doing something good? I being my most attractive self? All that pressure. But once someone does, break that and has a valid reason, like, wow, that's really cool. Wow, I like that about you. Instead of the overinvestment, I'm assuming he was talking about things where a guy's so desperate to get this girl's attention because that's going to give, it's really for him because he's just looking for validation for himself instead of actually trying to see if he likes this person. Then yeah, that's overinvestment for sure. That's going to
Yeah.
push anyone away because they don't feel like they deserve it, and they don't, because you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for your own validation.
Yes, absolutely. And that's a good place to take a quick break. We're going to come back. And I do want to get into more of understanding maybe just what you mean by lust triggers and like giving the guys who are listening some examples of ways to
Sure.
trigger lust in the women that they're dating or potentially dating. So we will be back after we have a word from our sponsor.
All right.
Yay. All right. So we're back. Very quick little break. But so tell me more about, I want to understand these lust triggers. Like what do you mean when you talk about lust triggers? And then give me a couple of examples of some.
Okay, sure. So now that she knows you like her, she's more likely to give you feedback that she likes you. You can look at it in the body language. At the beginning, you're not straight on up in her space, face to face. You're casually by each other, but you'll start to notice as you get more interested, you'll lean in, you start turning towards each other. I mean, these are proven things through body language science. Like, I know maybe you guys have heard this a lot, but pay attention to it. There's a reason why every culture has it, why every people do this. Like, pay attention to those things. If you start leaning in, you start getting more excited, if your bodies start turning towards each other, these are good signs that you're moving forward towards connections, and then being able to bridge the gap into, physical intimacy and all that goodness. So, I mean, some of the easiest things to do, and this is not groundbreaking, but playing a game where you get to touch each other. Like, I know it sounds dumb, but I still challenge. I mean, before my relationship, like, I'll still challenge to playing the slap hands game or thumb wrestle. I mean, it's a small thing, but it bridges the gap of touching without it being weird or creepy, and it's fun. Everyone's played that when they're kids, and you can make bets on it, so it's easier to ramp up.
I always call
Um,
that I always call that touching with purpose. It's
I
like
like
I'm
it.
not just putting my hand on your leg. There's a reason why we're touching. And
Right.
then once you get all the green lights from that kind of touching, you're closer to being able to just do the no reason touch. Just the I want to touch you
Yes,
because I want to touch you.
right, completely, and that's a great way of putting it. And I think a lot of guys who have been isolated recently over like COVID, and um, also so much more stuff is over the phone, or like people are home, they're just going out more, is like they're not doing as much. So these little things are not too they're not too scary for people that are super uncertain when they're starting going out. So yeah, touching with purpose, making it a fun game, something that, of course, why wouldn't we? And then yes, getting that feedback and seeing like that went really well. This is fun. Then you can start doing the different stuff, like when you joke, hit on the shoulder, and then eventually move, yes, to things where you get the feedback that, oh, I can do this without even asking. I can lean in and talk and put my arm on her upper back, and then maybe eventually it gets to the lower back because everything's green light. But yeah, I try and let guys know, like, listen, most likely you're not going to meet a girl who's going to push this forward, so you slowly do it, but always while making her feel safe and comfortable, and be paying attention to the feedback. That's
Oh,
crucial, at
okay.
least for what I do.
So is that maybe I'm misunderstanding the.
No, these are just the foundations to get
Yeah.
into where you can get comfortable enough to start doing lust trigger
Okay,
stuff.
got it.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to jump in and guys be listening to this and think, oh, I'm just going to jump in and talk about blowjobs because that's going to trigger that. You need to know the foundations. Or you're
That's
just
a
going to
runaway trigger, not a lust
Yeah,
trigger.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, shit, I got to do work.
Yes, exactly. No jobs for me.
That's why I put in a petition to change it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it does need a new name.
Yes.
yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
For I guess you changed Bumble, you changed this. You're taking all the pressure off of women. It's great.
Yeah, I mean the least amount of pressure when you're first starting out. It's just like forming a habit. The path of least
Right.
resistance we're going to go to, and then the more secure you feel on trying it. If you know you're not going to like do something risky and be blown, then that might put you off from doing it again for a long time, and then you're just going to be
Right.
lonely and scared. And that's what I'm trying to alleviate. That's why actually my online like school group that I've started where I get people together is make dating fun again because damn, it's just gotten so scary and weird with all this red
Yeah.
pill stuff. Like it's like, ooh, this does not look like the dating like fun that I had.
What do you
And
mean
I
by
want to
dating red pill? What's the dating red
oh
pill?
just well the like Andrew Tate stuff where it's just so
Yeah.
like angry and negative, like incel, like go like women are the problem, like they're because they rejected me, like then you have this like anger and you can't anger is never a good place to go and to start dating. So I'm trying to alleviate, give some like thought processes of how fun it could be, make it like low risk things you can do as you build up to higher risk things so that you're not afraid to try it, get some good feedback. Oh, this girl actually liked me. I actually had a fun date. You're more willing to do it again. You're actually sometimes excited to go do it again. So that's kind of, if you want to know my methodology,
Yeah.
we just happen to be talking about something where we're jumping to much further along. Not that it has to be further along in time too much. Like this could be from the start of the date to like an hour in, you could be doing these less trigger stuff, but it's important to me to not skip over the foundation stuff. So the guys can see it's not so hard to get into it. And these are the things, then when you feel comfortable, then start doing these in small increments. So, I'll tell you, like a lot of guys are afraid to go in for the first kiss. And this is really funny because I remember I was dating this girl who I thought was completely out of my league back when I lived in Vegas. Like she was so smoking hot. She had a great job. She was so cool. I was living on my friend's couch. I had no money. I was not nearly as cool as her. But, my humor, the things I said got her over. But I still remember, we were playing beer pong in the garage, but then her and I came out to the kitchen to get some water. And she's looking at me and she stares me in the eyes. Like she pauses the conversation. Here I am trying to be charming and fun. She looks at me and she goes, stop thinking that. And I was like, whoa, talk about like shifting me. Like, what is she talking about? Like, I was like dead in my tracks. Yeah. So in many ways, like, I don't know, I'm sure you guys have talked about this. Like breaking state is really powerful because it stops your mind running all of its loops that it's going normally when you're on a date. Does she like me? Did I do something stupid? Oh my God, that was so stupid. Oh my gosh, never talked. You get in that spiral, then you have no space to pay attention to the other person and pick up the cues they're giving. So it makes it much harder. So she broke stay with me very strong. I was like, what? What did I do? So she's like, yeah, you did. You're thinking about kissing me, aren't you? You stop it. And I was like, and then she's like, I'm just kidding, but you're thinking about it now, aren't you? And I was like, damn, that's good. So I've used that many, many times on dates. Except for what I do, that's a great one. So feel free to use that, guys. Or girls. Trust me, because it's used on me by a girl and it worked perfect. She got the kiss. Another one that, I like to do just to, bring the pressure off is when you say something cool, maybe you are leaning in, like you guys know that you like each other. So now you're like sharing like, oh, what about that? Like, why are you so into art? Oh, no way. And then you connect with a story of yours. Oh, I've been to the Louvre, one of my favorite paintings. Cool. Oh, and you're getting excited. The body language changes, lean in. One of the ones that I like to do for a first kiss is just be like, wait a minute. Are we about to have our first kiss? And it's a really easy way because if she says no, you can be like, okay, good. I wasn't sure of that. I just wanted to make sure. Pressure, you have a way to get out of it. If she says maybe, it's most likely you'd be like, it could be, I don't know, it's like, all right, should we turn that maybe into a definitely? What do you say, 5 minutes, 2 minutes? What works best for you? Keep it light and funny. Or she says yes, it's like, oh, sweet, let's do it. Like, either way, like, no matter which way it goes, you bring up the thought of kissing in a high positive part of the date where you're both like happy, laughing. Maybe you just said a good joke. Maybe you connected on something really deep where then there's a quiet after, after you talk about that and you're like, huh, that was cool. Like, that's a really simple way to start moving it forward.
Okay, let's hear more.
All right.
You're like, I was not prepared to give you more of these. No, but I like these. These are so what these lust triggers are just like subtle but still kind of direct ways to move things from we're having a nice time to okay, now we're thinking about sexual stuff, and this is like the initiator to start moving in that direction, like getting intimate, kissing, making out, all of it.
Exactly. So you're like moving it forward and laying breadcrumbs towards it becoming more intimate, bridging the physical gap, but in a very non-threatening way and an actual fun way where she can get involved with it and be a part of the process, not just a receiver, but an interactive person.
Okay, I love that. So give me more.
All right. Well, another thing that I've found be very useful is guys are afraid to talk about anything like sexuality wise. One way that I found that you can get over that is when you're talking about something that's non-sexual, do your sexual voice. Like
I like peanut butter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
but I know it's like
that's a main part of my sexual my sexual schedule. So to get a different example.
Like I don't know, share a drink. Like, yo, you want to try this? Oh, I know you want to try that, don't you? Good. I know what you're up to. You want to put your mouth where mine was, or something like that. Like make that sexual, even though it's like nothing. You're sharing. She's trying your drink.
Right.
But on the flip side, when you are talking about sexual things, talk about it in a matter-of-fact voice. It's a weird thing to flip on its head, but that lets you know, or it gets across that sexuality, like it doesn't have to be a big
normalized.
Deal. Yes.
It's normalized.
You normalize the thing that's scary, but then you sexualize the things that are non-threatening, so it can be fun. It's like everyone's in on it without any of the fear.
Yeah.
It's also a less is more thing. If you're talking so sexual when you're talking about something sexual, it's like, okay, cheese romance novel, Fabio. Like you go write these bad romance novels where you belong. It's so cheesy. So I like that balance. I like that idea.
But it also shows like a level of confidence too, right? You're comfortable with sex. So we had, I'm totally going to forget his name. Give me 1 second because I don't want to misquote him, but I did a show with him a couple of weeks ago. What is his name? No, not Dr. No, that's my dentist. Hold on.
We should give him a call.
Say everything sexual at the
Alex May, sex coach. Shoot,
your teeth are so clean. I can't wait to get in that mouth.
See, there you go. No, but so we had Alex on a couple of weeks ago. This show will air after that show, so people would have listened to it. So it would be a couple of episodes previous to this one. But he's a sexpert, right? Sex coach. He talks about sex openly, really openly on the first date. I mean, it's an easy transition for him because he is a sex coach. But he said that when he used to be an agent, it was really easy for him to bring it up as well, where he would just be like, hey, this is like how I think about sex. Like, well, what do you think about sex? Like, what? And he would just like really just bring it into the conversation very early because he also framed it in a way that, number one, he was expressing his sexual wants to women openly and confidently, but he was also kind of screening, right? Which is always a motivator for women if they're attracted to you. So like that's because he was so comfortable with it. It's like the women had to rise up and also be comfortable, which actually helped him discover if he had a good person in front of him that he could be going to bed with later. Right. So it helped him figure out compatibility as well. And I love that. But it was funny because after I did this podcast, Christian was away for that one, but it was a really good podcast. You'll want to go listen to it. But I had some friends over that weekend, and obviously this is what I do. This is the world that I'm immersed in. And there's certain friends I've realized, like, sometimes we don't talk about sex, right? Not because it's off limits, it's because we've never gone there before. And I started very casually talking about that conversation, which got me into conversation about porn watching habits and like all of these things. And it was just so interesting to see the comfort and discomfort levels of the other people when I was so comfortable talking about it. Right. And so, like, even that on its own is something that can be like it's a lust trigger, right? Because I feel like even when I was talking to my friend Nagin, she was like twirling her hair while talking about this stuff, because it was an exciting topic, even though I could tell it was making her uncomfortable because it was a foreign conversation to be having. So I really love what you said. Like, when you do talk about sex, you don't talk about it in this way that you teased about it before. It's confidently talking about it because it should be a nothing topic. It's something fun and interesting and something that everybody does, especially two consenting adults.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it is first date, second date, third date. They're all filtration processes. Like you're talking about what Fuji was talking about, overinvestment. Like, that's when you're not trying to see if this person matches up with you.
Yeah.
And that should be your place. Not just looking for reasons to filter them out, but also looking for reasons why you like them. And so
that's dating.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the definition of dating.
It's crazy we have to say that and spell it out, but yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people never learned this or taught that. So, I was surprised.
Well, it's because they don't have, an abundance mindset or an abundance of options in front of them. So one thing that Fuji did point out, and he said, like it or not, if you have a really attractive guy, you rarely ever hear him talking about being in the friend zone, because no matter what, he has an abundance. Basically, he may not have an abundance of women who want to sleep with him, but he have an abundance of women who are at least interested, because at face value, he's good looking at first, right? So he doesn't have to be this like needy and clingy guy. Maybe later on down the road that comes out. But in that first space, it's I have options around me at all time. And abundance can come from realistically having a lot of options in front of you, or I don't even know how to say this, like, not the created mental version, but you can have a life of abundance in other ways that can still create that non-neediness and that belief system that you have an abundance of options of things in general, so that you don't have to come off as over investing and needy.
Yeah, 100%. Sounds like you gave some really good information.
It was a really good.
So go back and listen to that, guys.
Yeah, it was a really good. It was a really, really good masterclass. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I want to have like one more lust trigger from you, something that you have tried and that works to get a woman's mind thinking about you in that lustful way.
Okay, well, I will jump to that real quick, but I want to just really cover that you're saying, like, it's a good thing to bring up sexuality early on, and if you do it in not a big deal kind of way, nonchalant, because you're also filtering out for people that have hangups on sex, and that'll save you from, like, I just need sex, so I'll put up with this, and then it blowing up in your face. Like, you can tell when you start talking about sex if people are afraid of it, or they'll come out and talk about how angry they are about a past relationship or something. These are good filtrations to not move forward and get into a position, like, because they might be fine having sex with you later that night, but you are going to be in a situation where it's going to bite you hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
hopefully, literally.
Yeah. If she's that crazy,
nom,
maybe
that'll
happen. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll give you two. I'll give you a bonus one. But one of the things that's really fun, so once you do move to the place where you, like, are about to kiss or whatever, and you do end up kissing, and it's like really enjoyable, I think it's really nice as the guy, if you pull back and go, whoa, whew, I'm getting really turned on. I need to take a second and cool down. And pulling back, because you are moving it forward, to pull back and give off the vibes. And this is completely true. It's not like you're making this up, but pull back and give her the opportunity to see how much she's having an effect on you really spikes the attraction and gives her permission to express her sexuality even stronger. Like I've noticed many dates when I've gone out on this, then the girl starts acting more sexual towards me because she feels like she has a certain power over me. Well, she does. Her sexual power is her, like, I like her. She seems like the kind of person I want to move forward with. I'm getting really turned on by kissing her. Like, that's another way of letting her know, but also giving her the space to ramp up and show her sexuality in a safe place to pull you in. And it really takes it to the next level.
I like that.
I don't know if you guys have experienced that.
No, I've had that. Trust me. When somebody's like pulling away and not all over me, of course it's going to make me want it more. Right.
Yeah, but right in the middle of it, like getting really good and being like, whoa, sorry, you're just turning me on a lot.
Yeah.
That's all.
No,
just
like
something as simple as like, wow, you're really turning me on right now. Like, I can't tell you how many girls, their eyes change and are like, oh yeah. And then they're like going to show you how much they can turn you on. And God, that makes it so much better for both of you moving forward. Yeah. Allows her to know that her power of seductions are strong and amazing and beautiful. And she gets to push those towards you. So I think that's a good one. Or I've found that to be very useful, and my clients as well.
Okay. Love it.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, so more triggers. I thought you were going to give us one more trigger before you got
Okay, one more bonus. I've always kept this one personal, but making moving to, because for some people, if you haven't done it in a while, moving to the part where you're taking off clothes can be nerve-wracking. So one of the fun ways, and you won't need it eventually, but one of the fun ways I found when I was back still figuring this out. So if you're like, haven't been on first date in a while, or you get nervous at this part, one of the most fun ways is just a plausible deniability. For me, it's watching a movie. Like, super easy. Everyone does. Like, let's go back to my list, watch a movie. And then I came up with a game where it's super easy. You pick a word, and she gets to pick first. She's always in control of this. And when the word's said 3 times, your word, I have to take off a piece of clothing. And if I pick a word and it's said 3 times, you take one off. And then it becomes a game. It's super easy. It's fun, and you can make bets. But it's just, I found that's an easy way to move it because both of you want to do it, but no one really knows, like, should I start taking off clothes? Should I not?
I like it.
It's towards the beginning. Now, if you really want my major secret, is I choose Moulin Rouge. And here's why. Because almost every girl who has seen it knows that it's all about love. So it's beautiful, love story and all that. But they almost always, you can let them go first and they're going to be love, done. Because it says love like 1,000 times in that movie. It's all about it. They've seen with love. Here's the secret. You just pick can. Because at the very beginning, like,
wait, you pick what? You pick what?
The word C-A-N, can.
Okay.
Because here's the funny part. So she already probably has you half naked by the time this happens because they say love so much, and she's going to be like, for sure, I'm going to win. But there is a song towards like 15 minutes in that's called the Can Can Can.
Yeah.
So you get 3 cans in a row.
Oh, dude, in a row, nonstop. You can't.
And she's going to show you her cans. It all ties in.
Yeah, she's going to be like, can? That's dumb. Yeah, exactly. You see, guys. That's just a fun little trick one. That's the bonus one. But man, that worked for me very well for many years.
I like that. These are fun things. They're just like fun, playful things to do with women. I love it. Well, I think it's great. That's the thing. You're always fun. And that's the thing I know about you. Like, over text, super fun. Like, you're up for fun all the time, which I love. So I love having you.
You confuse him and I together all the time because I am the funnest.
You are fun. Kristen is fun, and she's funny. Yes, but you're passionate. That's the thing, Kristen. That's the thing I love about you. You're super passionate. It's amazing. See, she's like, nope. All right, Race. How do people find out more about these? I don't even know how many, but I thought it was like 99 less trick. I forget how many.
Oh, no, that's are in this program. 99 lines. This is 19 less triggers. There's
19 less triggers. Ooh, we got 5 of them already. So I did get a lot.
Yeah, I know, right?
I thought it was 99 as well, so we were only taking a few. Fine. So go find out the other ones.
Well, if you need 99, it's overkill.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't need that many. You should need 3. That's it. It's 3. The
You
3
need
in
some
your
of the
back pocket,
bases that move it,
rotate,
yeah.
and Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So where do they find out more about this? Like, what's the website? Is there a website to go to?
Well, I'm assuming you'll put links somewhere, but Attraction Rockstar is my main site, and I'm pretty sure it's /19 less triggers.
Okay. Perfect. All right. I'm going to include that for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
And if they want to join my free community on School at school.com, it's Make Dating Fun Again, where I just keep putting up a bunch of things just to make it easier for people to go out on dates and connect in a fun way without all the fear and or the anger.
Yeah.
That is so commonly associated now. I know, right?
Fun and playfulness. Yeah.
Well, it's also exhaustion. It's dating exhaustion. It's like you match with so many people and you go on so many dates, and it's just outside of the anger and that stuff. It's just exhausting for both parties. So making it less tired.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So if you have a few things that kind of give you a roadmap that do this, I'm in the date, it's going well, or that didn't work out, cut my losses and go on my next date. If you have like that to make it not so scary, plus you have these little things to make it fun, you enjoyed it, it's not nearly as exhausting when you had fun, you want to do something again. So that's kind of the foundation of where I'm coming from with my dating advice.
It's all about play. Oh. Yeah, I like it. Wonderful. All right. Thanks, Ray, so much. And thank you, Kristen.
Kristen!
If you want to get some advice on how to banter online, which she is an expert at doing, then go to kristenandchill.com. As you guys know, she's about to raise her prices. So I would get in now because she's realizing her value, which I did not realize before. So it's going to be a huge difference. So get in quick. Go to Kristen and Chill and sign up for some banter sessions. And then you can always go to winggirlmethod.com and find out more about me and my methods for attracting beautiful, amazing women into your life and becoming the man you want. Exactly. Thank you, Race. All right. We'll see you guys next week.